He's lost 3 in a row. Are you willing to guarantee that Brock Purdy will turn 100% guarantee? You got to stake your career on it.
First of all, it's Nick, you said it yesterday. I didn't really believe it, but I'm seeing it now. It's like he's pouring Brock Purdy all over. You are distancing yourself from Brock Purdy.
Now,
you want none of this. You were just as high on Purdy as me. Now, that's all right, though. I'll take it because I definitely believe. Okay. Now, guarantee is strong, but I definitely believe Brock Purdy will turn this thing around.
Is it a guarantee or not? If you definitely believe.
I'm not into
I definitely believe this boat
I'm not into semantics.
I'm not getting on the boat.
Brock Purdy will turn this thing around.
Okay,
I've seen enough tight window throws. I've seen him play well in big games. Nick wants to poo-poo it, but I saw this man stare Tom Brady across the field.
Oh my God.
That's the GOAT.
Can you bring
That's my idol. And he played well and beat him. I saw him in his first ever playoff game beat a Seattle team that was pretty good.
But
I saw him beat Dallas, outplay Dak Prescott in a playoff game, and obviously he was playing well.
What have you
first
seen
5 games
this
was MVP
season
of the league.
that makes you think he'll turn it
First
around?
5 games of the year, he was arguably the MVP of the league.
Yeah, those were good.
And look, Christian McCaffrey's going to be healthier. They're coming off the bye week, right? Debo is back. Now, Trent Williams doesn't look like I don't think he'll be back, but that'll hurt. That's been a big thing. But coming off the bye, and Jacksonville and even the next game, Tampa Bay, 2 of the worst pass defenses in the league. Don't give up a ton of touchdowns passing, I'll give them that. But yardage-wise, they're 2 of the worst.
I thought you weren't a yardage guy. I thought you were a points guy.
I'm both. I'm both. Whatever the situation calls.
All right, I got
So, I think Brock Purdy's good. I don't think he's phenomenal, but I think he's a good quarterback, and I think he'll come out of this.
Very strong. I definitely believe that probably maybe he might turn it around. Here's what I think. I think as long as the game's in hand or as the game's competitive and they're able to play the way that they ideally would like to play, then he's been incredibly successul, and he'll continue to be successful. But as Nick and I talked about, and I struggle citing Nick and I's conversation, but the idea of a quarterback performing under pressure and performing when they're trailing. And last year, what we didn't see him behind very much. So we didn't know how he would do in those situations.
But now we do.
And the one game where it was the Raiders game, and he almost threw a pick in that game last year. It ended up working out. But in this run, where he's had to play from behind and try to rally the team, it's been a real struggle. Now he's had a week.
He had Cleveland. He did what
but
he
was poorly. He played poorly in that game.
Yeah, it wasn't a great game. But that's, to me, is the mark of a quarterback that's emerging, is how do they do in those pressure situations. And to this point where he's really been challenged, it's been a huge struggle.
Is that a lot? I hear you, and I agree. Is that a lot to ask, though? Has he even played 16 full games as far as a starter? He hasn't. So he's still technically in that regard a rookie.
No, but that's hold on. But that's
he's growing into this.
Wait. But that is why. That was one of the reasons why when folks were anointing him as the MVP of the league and the Niners as the clear-cut best team, those of us that said, wait a minute, we've seen so little from the quarterback, were yelled at and said, what more do you want to see? He's never lost. And so I'm not letting you off. You were showing graphics, greatest passer rating in NFL history, all these things.
Well, what do you want
and
to
now, I want you
now
guys.
You're back on?
Well, he had 9 touchdowns, no interceptions. Now he's got 3 and 5.
I want you guys, what I want you to do is be able to have the same measured realism now to have the foresight a month ago. That do we really think the last pick of the draft, this undersized kid from Iowa State, is actually what the numbers say, which is the greatest quarterback in NFL history?
We never went that far.
No, but that's what you guys, people were upset that we wouldn't just trust the numbers. And the numbers said he never loses and is the greatest passer rating ever. Yeah. So let's dig into the numbers now for a moment.
Nobody will trust those numbers.
Kyle Shanahan,
just like you feel like we went overboard with those numbers, you're going to go overboard with these numbers. And I'll take the 10 games over the 3 games.
You don't even know what these numbers are.
Oh, three interceptions, five interceptions, 3 games, 3 touchdowns.
None of that is accurate, actually.
The numbers, Nick.
So the reason John Lynch is saying what he's saying is because the Niners, and we can show it to you the last 2 years, they simply can't sustain turnovers. If they have less than 2 turnovers, they can't be beaten, essentially. And if they have 2 or more, they can't win. So when Shanahan or when Lynch says your hopes and dreams and everything are on it, he's right. Yeah, right. And then for Purdy, to Coach's point, I'm not just using the last 3 games. I'm using his whole season when he is trailing versus everything else. Everything else, we can show it to you, leading or tied, that looks like, is that the league MVP? Yeah, and trailing, that looks like a guy who could end up, when they lose this week, being on the quarterback hot seat.
How many games is that trailing?
They've trailed in 3 games.
Okay.
They've trailed,
3.
Yeah. Right.
You talk about a small sample size, but that's minute.
And it is a small sample size.
And in that minute sample, he's turned the ball over for.
And it was Cleveland, one of the best defenses in the league.
Look, you're hoping that you're going to see something change and progress there, and we know he can play at a really high level when it's all good. But this, to me, is the biggest distinguishing factor between good and great quarterbacks.
Okay. Right.
He might need
or a quarterback
motivation.
that might get benched.
He might need some motivation a little later.
Meanwhile, the 49ers defense will be preparing for the Prince. Okay, Nick, what can the Prince prove on Sunday?
Well, once and for all, he can make YouTube bend the knee, I'll tell you that much, when the trumpeter's out here and he beats your guys' beloved Niners. Guys, listen.
Are they coming again?
You guys got mad at me last time for you're like, why are you doing these random cutoffs? Why is this the date you're picking? So I said, you know what, Josh? I don't even want to look at the numbers. I'll be as surprised as anyone else. A season is 17 games. Show me Trevor's last 17 games. I'm like, oh, the team's awesome. He's awesome. Now, is he MVP level awesome? No. But a 4-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, 250 passing yards per game, plus another 25 rushing yards, a basically 100 rating. And so this team has, on this winning streak, beaten Buffalo on a neutral site. They're an above 500 team. Beaten New Orleans, currently a playoff team, above 500 team in New Orleans. Beaten Pittsburgh, currently a playoff team in Pittsburgh. If they follow it up, Coach, by beating the Niners, a desperate Niners team off a bye, to get to 7-2, whether people think I'm overstating that because I think Trevor's the 5th best quarterback and you guys think he's the 8th best quarterback, you want to argue about that? This is an excellent team.
This would be a big win.
This would be a big win.
The question wasn't about the team. It was about Trevor.
Okay.
And Trevor, look, I don't think Trevor's a game manager, but he's got the numbers of a game manager. And the reason, you even alluded to it, he wins. He's winning.
24 touchdowns, 6 picks.
I got some numbers for you that are going to dunk
Throw
those.
them out there, Chris.
Yeah, let's see this. This is where he ranks this season. Passing yards, 15. Yards per game, 13. It's all mediocre. Those are metrics and those are counting stats. Mediocre, and that's a compliment. 20th and 23rd in the TDs. And look, pass TDs, 9. Lamar's only got 9, but Lamar runs for touchdowns too. He doesn't, not one. He has one. He doesn't have a 3-touchdown game this year. He has one 300-yard passing game this year. I think he's good. I don't fawn over him like you, but he looks like right now he's just game managing. And it's not like they even have a great run game that you can say, yeah, but they run the ball so well. Not really. They're mediocre in that department.
Chris, if he throws one more touchdown, he can catch up to Mac Jones.
Right. Thank you, Coach. Thank you.
So he'll get the
He's game managing, and all you can hang your hat on is his wins.
But what he's done well is he hasn't thrown many picks, but there's other guys with only 4 interceptions that have been a little bit more prolific, like Russell Wilson with 16 touchdowns, or Justin Herbert with 12 touchdowns. Or Baker Mayfield with 12 touchdowns and 4 picks.
That's your guy now.
Well, what I'm saying is that when you look at it, I think what we need to see from the Prince is those drives that have been very good. They need to be able to finish those drives, and they've talked about that a lot in Jacksonville.
They're on a 5-game winning streak.
I understand that, but I didn't know you were a quarterback wins guy.
No, I'm not, but you're acting. No, but you're going to say no.
When you throw 9 touchdowns, you'd like to see your quarterback, who is the Prince that was promised, according to you, be a little bit more prolific than 9 touchdowns.
He might be a game manager. I mean, that's fine as long as they win.
So hold on. So here's my question: do you think the Jags have an elite defense?
No.
Do you think they have an elite running game?
No.
Do you think they have an elite offensive line?
No.
Okay. Do you think they?
I don't think they have an elite quarterback either.
Hold on. Wait
right
a moment.
now.
That's fine. Do you think they have elite wide receivers?
Receivers are pretty good.
They're pretty good. I don't know if I'd call them elite. They're pretty good. I agree.
Receiving core.
Okay. So
and they got a
if
good,
they
really
win
good running
this
back
weekend
in
for their
Etienne.
6th consecutive win
Against
and
a
get
reeling
to 7-2.
49ers team
No, but
on
these
the
guys,
East
these guys
Coast.
think the
They've got
Niners
it.
are awesome.
Early
1 o'clock
game, right?
These guys,
West Coast,
these guys
right?
think the
10 a.m.
Niners
San
are awesome,
Francisco
and they're
time.
and they pick the Niners to win. So you might actually
Well, I
think the
haven't made my
Jags are going to
pick
win. You pick the Niners to win.
I haven't made a pick yet.
$1,000
I
on it.
will, but I haven't made a
Exactly
pick yet.
Okay, so at some point you're going to have to
Wait.
square the
Yeah.
circle of how this team with a tough schedule has
But
this
hold
record,
on, is it,
when they're
so
not
now
ready
you're a
to-
quarterback wins
No,
guy.
I showed you his numbers.
Yeah, his numbers
He
are
is a quarterback
mediocre.
wins
No,
guy.
Yes,
He owns
you're a
it.
quarterback win. That's all you can hang your hat on. All of
24
those stats
touchdowns,
were
6
from last
picks is
year.
pretty good.
How about this season?
You
How
guys
about
got
this
so
season?
mad.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.